We all follow the Chelsea over London Sea. Get the microphones up. Bring them up, press, because I have something to say. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chelsea Football Club are back. Can score multiple goals. Rule them offside if you want, because we will score free. I do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your post-match presser of Leicester 1, Chelsea Football Club, champions of Europe elect. Free. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, vai. And it could have been more. And there was loads of positives in this game. We overcame adversity, dismal refereeing decisions, and we had to control the game at times, we had to defend at times, but we demonstrated a slick, cohesive, offensive play. A style of play, ladies and gentlemen. Graham Potter's tricky blues. Have they arrived? Has the era begun? Of course, not just sticking to one shape as well, going to a back four when needed. And the bench players doing well. And Mikhailo Mudryk beating the 007 allegations, as well as obviously marginally having a goal ruled offside. We had like 3 offside goals in this game. Really, it could have been loads. I mean, granted, we could have conceded another at least, but we could have scored 3 of more than we did. Imagine if we scored 6 goals away from home. We've got a lot to talk about today, so thank you for joining me for this post-match presser. And consider liking the video if you're feeling good, and you're welcome to subscribe to this channel, of course, if you want to. Right! Leicester away. Tough. Look, they have been having poor results, but their performances haven't always been bad. So much so that captain on the day, James Maddison, took to social media to explain how like their chances next year were good and they're playing well and keep playing like that and they will have no problemos. So they haven't been awful. They're scrapping for their lives, and of course away from home, this isn't always an easy game. And James Maddison, who was good in the game, good on the day, he's so key. Him back in the side playing well. You know, this isn't an easy fixture. And of course, Chelsea, who have a great team, and finding form now, we're still not like fully clicked. So this was by no means a given, and this was always going to represent a tricky fixture. But you know what? 3-1. Suck it. Listen. Look, it's about even on possession. They had a lot of shots. They had more shots than us. I think we probably had more shots on target. We started with a back 3 formation with Kepa in goal. Cucurella, well, we started with the same back 3 as we did in Europe. Fofana on the right, Koulibaly down the middle, Cucurella on the left. Wing back, so Ruben Loftus-Cheek being right wing back, and in the absence of Reece James, and Ben Chilwell playing his old side at left wing back. So a couple of returnees to the King Power in Wes Fofana and Chile B. We had the midfield duo of Captain Mateo Kovacic and the best player in the world, Enzo Fernandez. We had an interesting front 3 early doors. We had João Felix, we had Kai Havertz, and the man, Mikhailo Mudryk, Misha Mudryk, who interestingly played as a centre forward for the majority of this game, which is interesting. And he came across that, and he was coming up against that absolute titanic giant, Harry Suter, who set his name. He looks like how he like. If you hear his name and then you see him, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? He's one of those people like, oh yeah, fits. We had Kai Havertz up front, and then so there's so much to get into in terms of player performances in this game. I'm gonna talk about the 2 red card shouts now. If it was like a European game, absolutely Leicester could have had 2 Reds too, and the fact how I don't think there were bookings either of them was just absolutely incredible. There was something that went for us. It would be remiss of me to say otherwise. Enzo fouled someone, I think it was Madison, just outside the box, and it would have been a really good chance for them, and it wasn't even given as a foul, which is a mistake, of course. But yeah, the VAR, man. VAR's always there to sniff up our marginal offsides. But when it comes to, in the opening stages, João Felix getting his leg stamped on by studs, I mean, that could easily have been... They didn't even do the check for red card, which for me is an absolute travesty. And of course, later on, Amate sticking his studs into Kai Havertz's chest. He lifts up his shirt and all these gnarly marks. Look, whatever, you might say they would have both been slightly soft red cards, but the point is they didn't even do VAR checks, which is an absolute disgrace. So, Ben Chilwell scored a goal in the 11th minute. Assist Khalidou Koulibaly. Just before this, there was a corner that Chilwell took, and Fofana met with his head. In fact, Fofana could have had 2 goals. He forced a really good save from Danny Ward in the later stage of the first half, maybe. Granted, Ward could have done a bit better on Chilwell's goal, but the technique was excellent. But it would have been amazing if they combined for a goal, Chilwell and Fofana, because they both got so many boos away in the King Power, as you'd expect in the theatre of football, both going for that big, West London move away from humble old Leicester. Koulibaly, though, playing a lot better these days, assisting Ben Chilwell. Great first-time finish on his favoured left boot to put Chelsea 1-0 up. And, of course, he gave it the celebration, hands cupping to the ears, because he had been booed for the opening stages and was continued to be booed while there was still Leicester fans inside the stadium. Look, man, we could have scored again. We had an offside goal. João Felix, we'll talk about player performances, probably wasn't his best game, maybe not the game for him, but he did hit the crossbar. Hit the post again. This guy hits the friggin' woodwork all the time, and he had a goal ruled offside. That was beautifully assisted by Ruben Loftus-Cheek, by the way. I remember it. It was lovely. So, we should be 2-0 up, and immediately after that goal being ruled offside, Patson Daka, assisted by Ricardo Pereira, who could have been off the pitch at that point, because he was the one who stuck his studs into João Felix. He assists what is a great Patson Daka goal, but incidentally, the possession is turned over and conceded at this point by João Felix. I don't think he played badly. He gets hooked at half-time shortly after. But obviously he had 2 chances, the woodwork and the offside goal. But sometimes just those moments aren't enough. You got to look at the tactics of the game. And clearly Graham Potter... Oh, that's my green screen being eliminated there. I'm in a press conference room, I promise. Clearly, Potter, it felt like that was the way. But we went ahead and we scored our second goal, the third of the game, deep into stoppage time in the first half with Enzo Fernandez's beautiful lofted assist for Kai Havertz that had a beautiful lofted finish over goalkeeper Danny Ward. Celebrates cold as ice, still with his chest throbbing from that foul, probably. I believe it was just before that. Incredible. We see a half-time change. João Felix comes off for Conor Gallagher. Now, some of the football hipster anti-Cobham people would be like, oh no, you're taking off this sexy, wicked footballer for bloody Conor Gallagher who just runs around. Spoiler, Conor Gallagher was excellent in this half, and turns out Graham Potter does know what he is talking about, if he is indeed talking right now, because this is exactly what we needed, and Connor was superb in the half. What's his face? Rodgers makes a triple change. He's obviously going for it. He's worried that they're going to get relegated. The teams, the fans are booing them, and it's just, it's not looking good, Brev. So it's really, really tricky. My mouse has stopped working. I wonder how I'm going to stop this recording at some point. He makes a triple change. We make a double change. Pulisic and Chalobah on for Ben Chilwell and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. We then go to a back 4 formation, being ahead, and I guess looking for some more control. Vardy comes on at the 76th minute, and I'm naturally crapping myself because he is an absolute sugar house, and it just feels like if we were to have a good performance haunted by a certain individual, it would feel like Jamie Vardy is the chap to do that. But no! Just after he has a goal ruled offside, it looked miles offside when he scored it. So the fact how Mudryk went off celebrating, knee sliding and cupping his ears, it stung because the linesman put his flag up and brother did not notice for about 45 minutes. You know, the game had finished. He'd like got out of the shower and then he realised the linesman had put his flag up. It was a painful watch, and of course there's the meme joke of those of you who use social media about the 007 games, no goals, no assists. But very shortly after that offside call, again we had many offsides, and also Kai Havertz won. Kai Havertz had a really good header saved as well by Ward. Ward had a good game despite the Chilwell goal. He made a few saves, but yes, after that marginal Misha Mudryk offside, Mateo Kovacic scores a lovely goal, assisted well by Mykhailo Mudryk, who, after having that goal robbed off him, anywhere in the box, if you think the ball falls for him, he might be inclined to just try and lash it in one way or another, or indeed head it in. But no, he has the presence of mind to head it back into the box, and he finds his teammate, captain Mateo Kovacic, who absolutely finishes it lovely. And at this point we're thinking, this is great stuff, we are all having fun. Graham Potter does the managerial thing, brings off Mudryk, who's just got his assist, brings off Wes, who's on a card, and brings on Benoit Badiashile. Wout Face gets his, or Face, however you say it, gets his second yellow, and I'm feeling good and I want a fourth. But we don't get it, but we do a professional game, see it out, and Chelsea are good at football again. Player performances. Kepa had a moment where he flapped at a ball and made me think, oh my god, bad Kepa. Of course, he conceded the long shot, which is vintage Kepa. Excuse me. So it kind of feels like bad Kepa was creeping out in this game, but ultimately, no. He just had a wobbly moment, which he's entitled to every now and again. He made some good saves. One of them was excellent. And of course, great with his feet, knocking it about well to the defenders, as he's known to do. Kukurea, very good, solid. I don't think it was his best. It wasn't, Dortmund-esque, but it was fine. I think I'm really, really impressed with Koulibaly. He's just seemingly settled now. Touch wood. Very, very good from him. Very pleased for him. Fofana, very, very good as well. Like Ben Chilwell, both displaying their absolute decent, immense quality away at their former club. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek definitely deserves a shout out again. Quietly, not brilliant, but very good, playing in a role that's not his native role. You put him somewhere, he's going to do a very good job there. And of course, he nearly had an excellent assist for João Felix that was ruled offside. What can you say about this midfield pivot right now, except it's balling? The captain Kovacic has raised his game again since he's got the armband, obviously scoring the goal, playing very, very well. Enzo Fernandez getting another beautiful lofted assist. He's already got one for João Felix since we purchased him in January. I think Enzo was absolutely incredible in this game, by the way. I don't know if everyone agrees with me, but I just think he was just so good. Not just the assist, just constantly knowing where everyone is, his spatial awareness or his presence of mind of knowing where his comrades are and where his all the other players are, like in the and the opposition players, and he just, whether it's just short past this, that, and the other, glancing touches, back heels, I just think he's brilliant. I mean, he's a £100 million player, so you'd want that, but it's not a given. Gallagher, well, let's just talk about the rest of the starters. João Felix, in an offside, he hit the crossbar. I just don't think it was his game. Maybe it was to do with the test setup. Comment down below how you feel. I think he's very good, Felix, and I do hope he continues to start for the moment, and indeed, hopefully we sign him. But maybe I understand this wasn't potentially the game for him. Mudryk, very quiet first half, except for helpful runs. Maybe that's why he was playing as a striker. And the commentary team on the feed that I watched seemed to think that he had a really, really good first half when I wasn't so sure. But I guess, yeah, valuable runs. His finish was very good, though, offside. And he got an assist. So he had a good performance. Maybe he'll start the next game. Or perhaps Sterling will come back in. Kai Havertz. Ooh, Roman, do you know what that's worth? He's literally just the most frustrating player in the world. I always talk about this hill that I'll die on about Kai Havertz just being so talented and so, he's not necessarily going to score you loads of goals, but if you want a really, good footballer who's a good attacking footballer, just that side of the pitch, he's your boy. Just how do you make it work? Are you just going to play him as a 9? He sort of did for a lot of the game. Of course, Mudryk occupied the middle. Maybe Potter's going to unlock the way to get the best out of Havertz. Because he scored that amazing finish when he combined with Enzo. He also, I think he had a goal offside. He certainly forced a very good save from Danny Ward. I'm so pleased, but he's, he keeps up. He's just going to be mustard, isn't he? In terms of substitutes, the boys, Pulisic looked pretty good. Chukwuemeka was fine. Chalobah, Badiashile did a job, but the one that deserves the most credit, of course, is Conor Gallagher, because he came on at half-time, and like I said, it wasn't the sexiest substitution, Conor Gallagher for João Felix, but Conor Gallagher did everything. He combined really well in the final third. He made a goal line clearance off the line when Kepa went forwards, when was seriously needed. And he kept the ball very well. He wound down the clock very well. And, he knew these little one-touch flicks from, Fernandez and all the attackers. He's got the juice in the final third. People think of him as, just a hard-working road runner, whatever they call him. But no, he did defensive work, he cleared off the line, and he combined beautifully in the final third with the other forwards and attackers. So incredible. Very, very pleased for Conor Gallagher. And what a great game. 3 wins in a row. The clean sheet record's gone, and we could have probably conceded more than one in this game. But the point being, hard away game against the opposition, slugging it out for survival. And the winning run continues. The development of chemistry with the new players continues. And the good times continue. And if you agree, drop a like. I really want to hear what you guys have to say. A bit of a longer video today, but hey, why not? We're feeling good. So thanks for commenting, subscribing, and liking. And I look forward to seeing you very soon, mate. Peace.